Hi, everybody. Welcome to our self-healing class based upon the book, You Can Heal Your Life. I have a copy here. Louise was one of our students here in New York City at this center, and she wrote that book in, I think it was 86 or 87, and it came into my hands when I was quite a bit younger, obviously, and I've been facilitating these workshops for all the years since. Louise was studying Ernest Holmes, the Science of Mind textbook, and it was the inspiration for all her work. The book is now sold, I don't know how many million copies, but it's helped over 100 million people, and it's still one of our most popular courses. We're reaching hundreds of people every week on this call, and who listen to it on YouTube and Facebook. Tonight, as part of You Can Heal Your Life, the question is, can I heal my life? What can I heal? Well, you can heal just about everything. Certainly you can prove anything as you learn to practice what Louise taught. If you were to go to the textbook and you go to the very beginning, the first few pages, you're going to come across a page that says some points of my philosophy. So we go through this class and we present different aspects of self-healing every week. We've expanded her books and she produced several companion books. So we have really workshop material for every week of the year. Tonight I want to start out by saying, in answer to the question, can I heal my life? And I'm going to say most definitely yes. And though I guess he's not a popular character anymore, I remember back when I was younger, Dr. Seuss had a book, Oh, the Places You'll Go, and the question was asked, will I succeed? And the answer, of course, was yes, indeed. It's 98.75% guaranteed. So with the same enthusiasm as in that statement, I'm really going to say you can heal your life. I've seen people heal their lives. I've seen how I've healed my life. Some of the healings I've witnessed have been very dramatic. People healing things that were, considered not anything that could be healed. And I've seen healings of things that would be maybe simpler. Healing of an attitude or healing relationships or people really stepping up to much higher places in their lives through the practice of these points in Louise Hay's philosophy. Louise Hay's philosophy, once again, would be what you would learn in a center like this, which would be about developing a healing consciousness, learning how to live life affirmatively, which we can talk about in this lesson or others. So welcome to the center. This place is called First Center, First Church of Religious Science. Again, we meet every Thursday. If you're listening to us on YouTube, you're welcome to join in live at 7 p.m. If you watch us on any of the other media forms, we welcome you. And if this is your first time, we especially welcome you. If you'd like to become a member of the center, you can. It's a simple form, and we do annually. So just send us a request. In the book, You Can Heal Your Life, and all the support materials written for that book, both audio and written, there's a passage from one of the songs by Hal Joseph, and the passage is, remembering and forgetting, it's the game that we play. One of the goals of our self-healing class is to be reminded of what's real and true about ourselves, the important things that we so quickly forget. So this class is going to be about remembering, or in some cases learning, for some of you for the very first time, of who you are and what you are, and the idea that you are one with this one power, that there's an unitary field, as Deepak Chopra would say. There is this source that's in everything and everyone, and it's in you, and it's operating through you, and it responds to you. So the thoughts that we talk about, these empowering thoughts, some people will say are axioms. They're tools that will help us succeed in every area of your life. So are you ready for success? And some of you, this may be the first time you've ever heard these ideas, these words that can heal you and be the beginning of big changes. So I'm going to suggest an affirmation, something really true to get things going. I'll give you a couple affirmations to consider. If you're new, you might write them down. I'd say half of you on the call have been here before. So here's one. There is one source, one power, and that source is in me, and it's in everyone. And it's in everyone all the time. So that's the thing. You know, this God, this source, you can call it what you want, is in me, operating through me. Take that idea into your being deeply until you can sense it. To say, this power is one, this power is in me now. As you're able to internalize this statement, if you can do this alone and bring it in, I am one with this power, it can bring you a long way along your journey. Because many people have an idea that this power is outside of them somewhere. But we want you to understand in this first statement, there is one source, one love, one light, one essence, one power, and that power is in me now and all the time. So begin to internalize that statement, and it's a big step towards moving forward. Louise stated, all healing is self-healing. Think about that. All healing is self-healing. So the healing isn't going to come from outside you, from the priest, or it isn't going to come from necessarily the doctors or people, practitioners. The healing is done within your own consciousness, and all of these people are in our lives. They can support our healing, but all healing is self-healing. You can heal yourself of just about anything that looks like it's anything that looks broken. Relationships can be healed in many cases. Your self-esteem, which might be low, can be fixed. It can be made much better. Your self-concepts, your fears, your limiting ideas all can be changed. You can, in fact, begin to soar. You can hitch your wagon to the stars that Emerson spoke of. You can prosper even when you're in the midst of financial ruin. You can learn how to step out of this. You can do great good in the life. Even now, you might say, well, it's too late for me. And it's never too late for anyone. You know, we have the ability to be in new moments and to change. It's not too late. If you cooperate, you can be ascending, and today we would say trending, as you learn some of these principles and you begin to put them to use. So let's go back to today's empowered thought, today's spiritual affirmation or axiom. Again, there is one source. That source is in me, and it's operating through me and everyone right now. So take that in. There's one source. It's operating through me and everyone right now. The next important affirmation, healing thought, might be difficult, but let's try it on. Let's see how it feels. You might say to yourself, there is nothing and no one against me. And then say, all of life is unfolding perfectly. Again, there is nothing and no one against me. All of life is unfolding perfectly. So as we work with these ideas, these are enlightened ideas, spiritual ideas, we know they're filled with power. And the more we comprehend the power that we have, the more evident it's going to be, the more it's going to show up in our world. By the way, you possess power. Within you, deep at the center of your being, is power and is majesty. And you have the ability to change things. The conditions in your life, however good or bad, don't have consciousness in and of themselves. You have consciousness. It's your consciousness that brings them to you. It's also your consciousness that keeps your good away from you. the thing that's important to remember is you have power available to you, and you can use it. Said another way, you've been given the gifts of the Creator. I often say humankind has been given tremendous gifts. We are the only species that really even knows that we have this power. We can dream, we can expand, we can grow, and we can heal ourselves in limitless ways. We are one with it. We have this power at our disposal, and if you're in this teaching for any length of time, you're going to know that you have this power at your disposal. So what a pity if you know you have this power and you just choose not to use it. When we're paying attention to our inner knowing, and that's, if you're quiet, you allow yourself to be quiet and you meditate, there's always something within you that's stirring you, that's eating at you maybe, or, urging you on, pressing you forward. I like to say from Emerson that life is wooing you, to step forward and to be more. And when we're paying attention to that intuition or spirit, we are stimulated to think beyond our present circumstances. And because we're uniting with it, we're realizing not only is it in us, it's a part of us, and we're one with it. And we know that it's a part of everyone else too. So as we know this, and we're open and receptive to it, things start to open up and expand. We can adapt, we can change, we can let go of old things and our old ways, and we can begin to learn to trust the process of life, as Louise Hay was so fond of saying. As we grow and we trust this power that's in us and operating through us, we start to evolve in freedom. We don't worry about everything. We know the universe has our back. We know that we're one with it. People have said in another way, we have a certain dominion over life. We deeply know when we're feeling connected with it. We can sense it, this spiritual energy. And another thing we realize as we are in this teaching after a while, we know that life is going forward by means of our thoughts and our thinking. So we learn to think more expansively, more lovingly, because we know that that is what creates. As we do this, we are unifying ourselves with this power, and then there seems to be an expansion. And we start to operate on a different level. We're not operating on the level of struggle. We're realizing that we're supplied and supported. And then we wonder, why did it take so long? So our load gets lighter. There will be people that will understand you on calls like this. If you come in every Thursday, we're here to support you, and Sundays. And there's going to be people who won't understand you because the world outside is reacting all the time to everything. And you might say, well, you react a lot yourself. Well, you might, but you don't have to. You could see peace instead of what you're seeing. You can interrupt that whole process. People who are in this teaching are learning to see life differently and realize that you have the power to place your energy, to level up wherever you want to. There's nothing, there's nothing in life that we personally take credit for, because we know life is unfolding by means of our consciousness. There's a lot we can appreciate. What we want to do is keep seeing the good in people. We want to learn to love ourselves and to learn love others. And the more we do it, we will start to demonstrate more success and more happiness, more joy, more contentment. So here we are in our Louise Hay class, our self-healing class once again. And her great inspiration once again was Ernest Holmes and a few others. And because of her, I'm here sharing what she and Ernest taught in the very same church or center that they both taught in. And I'm teaching what they were both excited about. We're in a new year again, and the challenge is always to be in a new moment. So what does that mean? Well, if you're always in a rut, thinking the same old thoughts that are holding you back, you're carrying around dead wood that Ernest Holmes spoke of. So we want to lighten the load. We want to let go of the stuff that's holding us back. I'm going to first say something comforting before I say something that might be a little bit disturbing. The first thing to really understand that is everything is okay. And beyond that, everything is unfolding perfectly in the world and in your life. It's unfolding in ways that we don't understand, in the most magnificent ways. It's unfolding in good, it's unfolding in intelligence, and we can trust life. There's nothing wrong with being wherever anyone is in consciousness. In fact, we live in a spiritual system, we're a part of it, we're points of awareness within it. So we're comforted in knowing that everyone's unfolding in consciousness perfectly, and everyone's in the right place at the right time. I thought a lot about this section before including it. How many years did it take me to understand the idea of learning to be in a new moment? And let me explain just a little bit. The subject of being in a new moment could be a couple classes in and of itself, because people would have to still work at their own consciousness. Healing occurs in new moments. Healing occurs where you wake up and realize, oh my God, I've been doing this thing this way for all my life, and it's not working for me. So I have a new moment where I'm willing to release a resentment, or I'm willing to think of things in a new way. That's truly a new moment where I'm going to drop whatever I've been taught for the past 30, 20 years, and I can think in a new way. Life is unfolding perfectly. So you get what you need when you need it, actually. The more difficult thing to say is most people find it very difficult to live in new moments. They find it difficult to live with independent thoughts and ideas. They find it difficult to live courageously. They find it difficult to let their light shine. They find it difficult to do that and have faith and knowing that life is supporting them. This type of person will not let themselves, the person who's living what we teach here is not going to let themselves be directed so much by the outside. This type of person has acquired some spiritual knowledge and trusts life. I always love referring to Emerson because the passage which you hear me talk about from time to time is, he said, God help us when a thinker is let loose upon the countryside. He said, nothing's safe, because a person who's authentically trusting themselves or thinking for themselves and speaking for themselves is a rarity these days. We're encouraging you to be that person because you are an inlet and outlet of this God activity. You are an individualization of it. And so you can trust that you will receive what you need to receive. You have an internal guidance system that's always bringing you the information at the right time, the right place. Life is presenting all of us on this call, this broadcast, new things to deal with every single week, because that's what life does. Sometimes things happen, they're recurring, and you get the lesson quick. Sometimes you don't get the lesson so quick, so it comes back in different ways. If you're working this teaching, you're learning to trust life, and you're learning to trust it to such an extent that whatever happens, you're committed to seeing that there must be good here, good in it. And you're looking for the possibilities for good. And for those of you who are really engaged in the teaching, good is what you will see. It's what you'll always see, because that's what your commitment is, to see the good. I remember Edwina Gaines, the New Thought teacher years ago, who's always would use the word God and good interchangeably. She would say, I'm here to see the good in the God and the God in the good. If you are that person, you know, you're developing a healing consciousness. You're not critical of yourself. You release the need to criticize yourself. You just refuse to go there. You're not going to criticize anybody else, because you really know that life is evolving. And you've made mistakes, and you're forgiving yourself. And furthermore, you're extending that compassion to other people. Not everybody is in that place by a long shot. Most people are not there yet, but that doesn't mean that they won't get there. All the world is unfolding and moving in love, And we're learning to embrace ourselves, accept ourselves, forgive ourselves, and we're learning to extend that love to others. We have no need to judge anybody because most of us realize there's work to be done right here within me. We all have much to do. We do the work in mind, we do our work in consciousness. Our classes, all of them, the work we do is with the conversation that we have with the most important person, which is ourselves. So it's an inner work that it's inner work that we're engaged upon. We're reminded always that we're taking a journey. They say the journey without a distance, meaning it's the journey within to work with us. Most every time I teach a class, it's essentially about Louise Hay or Ernest Holmes and or their ideas. So some say I'm a purist because I keep bringing it back to this principle, and let me share the idea around principle. I can simply say the goal is to drop everything you think you know about all these things and have all these strong opinions and judgments so you can be free. Drop the resentments, drop the strong criticisms, never, never, never criticize yourself. Drop all that dead wood, be free of it. Release the need to judge other people as best you can. And it takes work because we have a lifetime of stuff inside of us, but as soon as you're aware that you're being hard on yourself or others, drop it. Replace those negative ideas, negating ideas, resentments, biases, whatever you got running inside of you that's saying you're wrong or bad or someone else is wrong or bad or right or wrong. Do your best when you notice, it's just to drop it. So let it all go. My generation had a phrase in a song, to really date myself, where we can return to the garden. And so the garden represents this beautiful place, right? This exceptional place of transcendence where the glory is all there. And it is this place of calm and beauty, the kingdom, right? It's at hand. It's available to us right now. I can promise you that. The healing and everything you could ever want is here. Nothing has denied you. We're all evolving, every last one of us, in light and in wonder as we're open and as we're willing to drop the stories. One day, I'm sure everyone will experience this. We have much to appreciate, and this teaching, will let you know that life responds to you. As you step up to that next ring of appreciation and knowing, you're opening up doors to good. You're creating avenues in mind so you can experience the love and the beauty that's always been there. Carl Sagan, you might remember him. Some of you read about him. Famously said, "You are made of star stuff." Exploding supernovas that happened 3 or 4 billion years ago, more. We're always and at all times much more than what we think. And we think, like, I grew up in New England and I came from this family and we believe this and we were that religion, but we're always much more than that. Let's remember this. Let's contemplate who we really are and who we have come here to be. Remember that we are one with everything. We are eternal beings and we're here to expand. And let's do it with appreciation. Please know in this moment in history, there's no story of any kind that's holding you back. It's just, if you're being held back, it's just by what you're telling yourself. Declare for yourself, I'm going to let go of all my programming and I'm going to know all is well. I'm going to release to think badly. I'm going to release the need to be critical of myself, and I'm going to release the need to be critical of other people. Every single Thursday I ask the question, what has it been like being you? What have you been focusing on? Is that conversation that you've been thinking about, is it expansive? Is it moving you forward toward happiness? Or has it been constrictive? Has it been negative? Has it been some version of ain't it awful? Because you have the ability to turn all that around if you want to. But it's only you that can do it. So if I could do it for you, I would do it for you. I can just tell you that this is the way it works. So when I ask you the question, what's it been like being you, I'm wanting you to reflect. Have I been really complaining? Have I been down on myself? Have I been down on other people? Because I can stop that. I would suggest anybody who's really having a tough week to start tuning into some of the Louise Hay audios that are available on Google Play or iTunes, and just listen to it, right, over and over again, or plug into our Facebook or iTunes, our YouTube, and listen to some of the lessons. Bathe yourself in positive thoughts. This is what we can do. Commune with great thoughts, great minds. You may not realize what you do to yourself week by week, but that's the reason the question was always asked, what's it been like being you? Because the thoughts that you have that are playing inside of you, the tendency of them, however they are, positive or negative, are shaping your life. Today we suggest I'm here to remind you rather that you are designed for success. The universe is here attempting to get your attention. If you're in a class like this, it's no accident. You're here, you're getting the perfect message. This message will land in different people in different ways, and that's okay. But really always it's designed to tell you how wonderful you are and the possibilities that exist within you. You might say, who, me? You're saying I am this great, magnificent thing, and I'm saying yes, in all the world there's only one of you, and you're here to express life and to do it abundantly, creatively, and with a sense of joy, and it's all there for you. So you're something special, whether you know it or not. You may not think of yourself as such, but you are. So here we go. Part of today's lesson is the reminder to trust ourselves more, learn to trust life a little bit more, learn to trust your intuition. You hear me say often you have an internal guidance system. Meditate a little bit more, take a pause, learn to listen. And when stuff comes up within you that's negative, learn to negate it and replace it. Say, no, that's not true. I release the need to think that way, and replace it with something that's, wonderful about yourself. So, in closing, let's each of us be resolved to examine our thoughts, examine the conversation that we're having with the most important person in the world, and realize if it's negative, we resolve ourselves to change it, negate it, replace it with what is true. And we learn how to do affirmative thinking and affirmative prayer. Affirmative prayer is basically centering yourself in the awareness that there is God, or there is this divine source, and I'm a part of it. And as we contemplate our oneness with this source, and we align ourselves with what it is, we make a set of declarations like, I am whole, and I'm complete, and I'm loving, and I'm lovable. And if something comes up that suggests that you're anything less than wonderful, whole, and complete, then you simply negate it. You say to yourself, I release the need to think this way, and you replace the negative thought with the positive or the higher idea, and you declare that I am whole, I'm complete, there's a pattern of health in me, there's a pattern of prosperity, I'm good, I'm valuable, I'm loving, and I'm lovable. And then you say, I accept this idea as true, I release this perfect idea into the universe, and so it is. We're here to keep being lifters, we're here to keep on entertaining healing ideas. We know we can heal our lives. We know the outer manifestation right now. Anything negative is because of inner thoughts that we've entertained over time. And we know that anything that's there, you're greater than anything that you've ever thought. So there is that which is in you that knows, and you can heal your life. So I think this. And if you're going through difficulties of any kind, no matter how difficult any issue you have or you've been through, what you've experienced is an outer result or an effect of an inner thought or series of thoughts. So you can heal anything. You can make improvements in any area of your life. So we'll close on that note. I'm really very interested in hearing what your inner dialogue has been like. And that's the question we can talk about. You know, how good have you been to you this week? I've been told years ago, there's no one nicer to be nicer to than you being nice to you. So we can share whether we've been kind to ourselves, kind to our mind, or if we've been down on ourselves and what we resolve to do about it. So thank you for this evening, and we'll see you the side of the break. Thank you.